Picture this with me, honey. It is a bright Saturday morning in May, and you are pushing an empty cart through the garden center. And there it is, at the end of the row, the prettiest thing you have ever seen. Big, healthy, covered in bloom, and the little tag says it grows just about anywhere. So you bring it home, you tuck it in right next to your hydrangeas, and you feel proud of yourself. That first summer, it is lovely. The second summer, it is a little too lovely. And by the third summer, that pretty thing has crept clear across your bed, wrapped around your roses, and stolen the food and the water right out from under your good flowers. I have watched it happen in my own garden, and I have watched it happen in half the gardens on my street. Today, I am going to walk you through 10 plants the nurseries sell every single day that will do exactly that. And stay right to the end, because there is one little word the nursery prints right on the plant tag that gives a bully away every single time. Once I show it to you, you will never bring one of these home by accident again. Now, before we get started, let me tell you who I am, in case this is your first time out to the garden with me. I'm Debra Wilson. I have been growing flowers for more than 50 years, ever since I was a little girl at my Grandma Hazel's elbow, and these days my yard is the most colorful one on the block. And I have made just about every mistake there is to make out here, including bringing home a few of the very plants on this list. So I am not up here scolding anybody. We are just neighbors, talking over the fence. Here's the thing to understand before we begin. A plant being sold at a nice, respectable nursery does not mean it belongs in your flower bed. Some of the prettiest plants in that whole building are what the old-timers called garden thugs. Most of them are not poisonous. They are just greedy. They spread, and they take the sunlight, the water, and the food that your hydrangeas and your roses and your peonies were all counting on. And a starved flower will not bloom no matter how much you love it. So let's meet them, one at a time. Number one is one you might have in your yard already, and that is mint. Now, I love a sprig of mint in my iced tea as much as anybody, but mint does not grow in a nice clump like a polite plant. It travels. It sends out little runners just under the soil, and those runners pop up new plants a foot away, then 2 feet away, then clear across the bed. Plant one little pot of mint in the open ground, and in 3 years you will be pulling it out of your rose bed, your walkway, and your neighbor's yard too. Here's what I do, and it could not be simpler. I grow my mint in a pot, honey, every single time. If I want it out in the ground, I sink the whole pot down into the soil so those roots cannot escape over the sides. You still get all the mint you want for your tea. You just do not lose your flower bed to get it. Now, mint's plant tag is a perfect example of that one little warning word I promised you at the start. We are going to circle back to it, because once you learn to read a tag the way I do, all of this gets easy. And that is really the whole heart of what I teach out here. Everything I know about keeping a garden full of happy, well-fed, blooming plants, I put into a little book I wrote called Debra's 30-Day Bloom Protocol. It is a gentle day-by-day plan for taking those big, leafy, stubborn plants that just will not flower and coaxing them into bloom in 30 days. It is built on the same old pantry and shed methods my Grandma Hazel used, written out plain, for hydrangeas, roses, peonies, dahlias, and all your perennials. 120 pages, and not a bit of it complicated. Right now it is $17, marked down from $47, which is a whole lot less than one more summer of staring at leaves and no flowers. If you would like a copy, it is easy as pie to get. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. All right, come on back out to the garden with me, because number 2 is a real charmer and a real troublemaker. It is the trumpet vine. Oh, it is a showstopper. Big orange trumpet-shaped flowers all summer long, and the hummingbirds line right up for it. But that beauty comes at a price. Trumpet vine does not just climb. It sends up new shoots, called suckers, from its roots, and those shoots come up 10, 15, even 20 feet away from where you planted it. It will come up in your lawn. It will come up in the middle of your flower bed. Folks even find it coming up between the boards of the porch. If you have your heart set on a climbing flower, honey, do yourself a kindness and plant a clematis instead, or a nice climbing rose. You get all the beauty, and it stays right where you put it. Number 3 is the one you saw when you clicked on this video, and that is oleander. Now, I understand the temptation. In the warm parts of the country, oleander blooms in pink and white and red all summer long, and it will grow in the hottest, driest, meanest spot in your yard without a word of complaint. But here is the honest truth about oleander, and I say it gently. Every single part of that plant is poisonous. The leaves, the flowers, the stems, all of it. I am not here to frighten anybody, and plenty of good gardeners grow it just fine. But if you have little grandbabies who come to visit, or a dog or a cat who likes to nibble, I would keep this one well away from where they play, or I would just leave it at the nursery altogether. There are 100 other flowers that will give you that same summer color without the worry. A hardy hibiscus will do it. So will a good shrub rose. Number 4 is a sneaky one, because it is sold as a pretty thing to solve a problem. It is called bishop's weed, and some folks call it snow on the mountain or goutweed. It has cool green and white leaves, and the nursery sells it as a ground cover for those shady spots where nothing else will grow. And it surely does grow. That is the whole trouble. Bishop's weed spreads by roots that run underground, and once it is in for good. You can dig, you can pull, and every little piece of root you leave behind starts a brand new plant. I have known gardeners who fought this one for 10 years. For a pretty shade ground cover that minds its manners, plant some coral bells instead. Honey. They come in the loveliest colors, and they stay in a nice, tidy clump right where you set them. Number 5 is right at the heart of our list, and it fools a lot of flower gardeners because it is genuinely beautiful. It is called gooseneck loosestrife. It has these graceful white flower spikes that curve over at the tip, just like the neck of a goose, and when you see a whole patch of it in bloom, you will want it. I did too. But loosestrife runs underground just like the mint we talked about, only stronger, and it will march right through the middle of a perennial border and crowd out everything you planted around it. Your daisies, your coneflowers, your phlox, all of it swallowed up. If you love those white spikes, and I do not blame you one bit, try a clump-forming veronica instead, or a nice astilbe for the shade. And here is a little something. If you had gone and turned over the loosestrife tag at the store, that warning word I keep promising you would have been sitting right there in plain sight. We are almost to it. Number 6 is called the chameleon plant, and it earns a spot on this list all by itself. It has heart-shaped leaves splashed with green, cream, and red, and it is honestly beautiful in a pot on the porch. But put it in the ground, and it becomes one of the hardest plants in America to ever get rid of. Its roots go deep, and they run far, and even a tiny scrap left in the soil will grow right back. People have nearly moved houses trying to escape this one, and I am only half joking. If you want that same splash of color in a bed, a good hosta, or once again, those wonderful coral bells will give it to you and let you sleep at night. Number 7 has just about the most misleading name in the whole garden. It is called the obedient plant. Now, it got that name because you can bend one of its little flowers to the side and it will stay put, which is a charming little trick. But out in the bed, honey, this plant is anything but obedient. It spreads by underground runners, and it will wander all over your border, popping up wherever it pleases. Pretty pink and lavender flowers, terrible manners. If you want that same tall, spiky flower look that stays where you plant it, a clump-forming salvia is your friend. It blooms for months. The bees adore it, and it never once tries to take over. Number 8 is one almost everybody has seen, and that is English ivy. It looks so classic climbing up a brick wall or trailing along the ground, and the nursery sells it by the flat. But ivy is a smotherer. On the ground it spreads into a thick mat that chokes out every flower and every low plant in its path. On a tree it climbs right up, and over the years its weight can help bring a weak one down, and it works its way into siding and fences and every little crack. For a well-behaved climber with real beauty, a climbing hydrangea is a wonderful choice. It is slow and it is polite, and once it settles in, it covers itself in lovely white blooms. Number 9 is a plant folks dream about, and that is wisteria. Those long draping clusters of purple flowers hanging off an arbor in spring, well, there is nothing else quite like it. But the kind the big nurseries usually sell is Chinese wisteria, and it is a beast. It grows into a heavy woody vine as thick as your arm, and it will crush an arbor, pull down a gutter, and strangle a small tree if you let it. It also drops seeds that sprout up new vines all over the place. Here's the good news, honey. There is an American wisteria, and one variety called Amethyst Falls is far gentler on your yard. You get those same beautiful purple blooms on a plant that will not tear your porch apart. Just ask for the American kind. And number 10, our last one, is the one that breaks the most flower gardeners' hearts because it is so hard to spot until it is too late. It is called creeping bellflower. It has pretty purple, bell-shaped flowers on a tall stem, and it looks so innocent that most people just let it stay. But underneath the soil, creeping bellflower grows deep, white, brittle roots and little running stems that spread in every direction. Try to pull it, and the top snaps right off while the root lives on to grow again. It will thread itself right through the crown of your peonies and your daylilies, where you can never dig it out. If you want that lovely bell shape, plant a clump-forming campanula, sometimes sold as blue clips, or a balloon flower. Both give you those charming bells, and both stay in a tidy clump right where you want them. Now, I promised you at the very start that there is one little word the nurseries print right on the plant tag that gives a bully away every single time. And here it is, honey. When you pick up a plant tag and it uses the word vigorous, you just put that plant right back down. Vigorous is the nursery's polite way of saying, this thing runs wild. And there are a few more words in that same family to watch out for. If a tag says the plant spreads quickly, or naturalizes, or fills in fast, or is good for difficult spots, or self-sows, that is all the very same warning, just dressed up in pretty language. Now here is the happy flip side, so you know what to look for instead. When a tag says clump forming, or well-behaved, or stays put, or grows in a tidy mound, that is a plant you can bring home and trust. So next time you are standing at that garden center, turn the tag over and read it slow. Those few little words will save you years of digging and heartache. And that, right there, is the whole trick. And honestly, that is exactly how my whole book works, one gentle correction at a time. Debra's 30-day bloom protocol takes you day by day for every flower in your yard and turns those big leafy plants into real bloomers. It is still just $17 right now, down from $47, which is nothing at all against another whole summer with no flowers. If you would like a copy, here is how to get it. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. So there you have it, honey. 10 pretty plants that cause a whole lot more trouble than they are worth. And the one word on the tag that warns you before you ever get to the register. Now tell me something in the comments. Which of these 10 do you have growing in your yard right this minute, and what state are you gardening in? I read every single one. And next time, come on out to the rose bed with me, because I am going to show you the one thing from your kitchen cupboard that I scratch into the soil around my roses every spring to keep them blooming right up until frost. Now go on out there and get your hands in the dirt, honey. I'll see you in the garden.